Hi, my name's Abbey Kayte. I'm an artist from New Zealand, here in London, and I'm about to have my first show.
Tell me about the show that you're putting on.
So it's a 2-day show. It's in Brick Lane. It's coming starting on the 7th of December, running for 2 days to the 8th, and I'm basically just showing about 17 pieces of my own work. Really excited for it, actually.
Tell me about your style. It's stencil, isn't it, that you do?
Yeah, so what I do is I take the sort of more street art style of stencil making, and instead of transferring that onto the streets or making spray painted pictures with my stencils, I actually keep the stencil as it is and I back it out with coloured leather, and then I frame the work, so the stencil actually stays as part of the main artwork itself.
So it's quite intricate cutting that goes on there. And what brought you into it? What was the whole idea behind doing the stencil and then applying the leather behind it?
It started off with I have always had a real heavy interest in stencil art itself. I love the ideas of the way street art is made, and I got into sort of making my own stencils at home as a hobby, and after realising that maybe spray painting isn't one of my strengths, I found sort of alternative ways to use the stencil, and after being given some leather samples to make some home crafts with, I thought it would be a good way to tie the two things together, and I started using the coloured leather as an alternative to the spray paint, and fooled around with that for a while, and that's sort of how it came to be. Yeah.
So you like the sort of texture of the leather, and what made you use leather in the first place?
Originally, I mean, leather's always been something that I felt really strongly about, and as a child I did a lot of horse riding. Obviously all of the gear that you use for horses is made from leather. It's so many qualities about leather that I love. It's a strong, durable textile. It has an amazing smell to it if you leave it in its original form. It's also comes from an animal. It's something that was part of a living creature that had its own strength in that regard, and when you turn it into a textile, it also has scars left over from the animal and from where it came, so it tells its own story in a lot of ways. It shows beauty, it shows strength. There's just so much romance about it that I really love.
So, I mean, you're obviously you're an artist. You've been an artist for a while, but also you are and have been an international volleyball player. Is that not the case? Yeah, that is the case. From a young age I've always been into sport as well, and unfortunately for my art career, volleyball actually dominated most of my life, and from university level I started playing internationally for New Zealand, so art got put on the back burner a little bit, and I played on and off volleyball, indoor and beach volleyball for New Zealand up until about 4 or 5 years ago. And since then, luckily, I've been able to have some spare time now to get back into the art stuff, so that's why it's all sort of come around about. Did the art go on hiatus then whilst you were travelling the world doing volleyball stuff?
I guess it just needed some time to develop itself on its own right, and I was very focused on the sports stuff, and it was providing me opportunities to travel and study and do all those sorts of things, so I couldn't really shy away from it at the time.
And we were talking about this volleyball, and just to confirm, you don't score the goals, do you?
No, there are no goals.
Literally no goals.
Definitely no goals. No.
So, tell me about the subjects that you paint and the types of subject matter that you're interested in.
Okay.
Oh, so you paint do the stencil.
Yeah. So I'm really interested in basically anything that shows a form of what I perceive as a character of beauty or strength or power, you could say. It doesn't have to be the typical aesthetic of beauty that people think of when they think of models or that kind of thing, but it's something that evokes an emotion in you when you look at the piece, and you can recognise or kind of identify a quality within the subject that you're looking at. And I find that people show that a lot in their expression, so I do a lot of human form, especially female form at the moment is really something that I'm interested in, and I also find animals show a lot of these qualities in a lot of the way they are, their existence, their sort of the way they're connected to nature a little bit more maybe directly than we are in a lot of ways. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm focused, and I really have attached to the human thing. I'm really interested in indigenous cultures, people in their traditional kind of environments and things, and shows other characteristics that maybe we've lost in a lot of the popular culture ways that I still find really beautiful. There's a lot of heritage in those sorts of things, and that's what I sort of like to show in my artwork. Yeah.
So this is your first show, isn't it? First solo show.
First solo show. Yeah.
And it's in London. Why London?
I kind of fell in love with London a little bit this year. Have been here on and off in the past on holidays, and was spending the summer in Croatia, as you do, just taking some time off, and came here a lot to visit friends and go to some events and that sort of thing. And it's an amazing city with so much going on. There's already so many people here doing so many great things with the art industry, and not afraid to give things a go, I think, also too. For me, this is scary territory in a little bit of a way, to just leave your home country and try something completely new. But here is a place where I feel like you can do that, and it's not such a bad, scary sort of thing that you can. It's embraced here. So I was happy to take the risk and go for it. Yeah, I felt comfortable.
And how does it compare with New Zealand art-wise?
London.
Yeah.
Well, apparently you can fit the population of New Zealand into the city of London about. I'm not sure of the exact maths, but it's more than 6 times over, I think. The city just has so much energy. It doesn't matter what season it is, what time of the day it is. There's people everywhere on the streets. There's always things happening. It's never short of motivating you for any kind of reason, and I think that's something that New Zealand doesn't have, purely because we're so much smaller. So it's an exciting place to be. It's just there's so much going on for any age, any era, anything. It's just it's a cool place. Yeah.
Abbey, thanks very much.
Thank you for having me.